Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Terry Miller with Unlucky Trapper Gaming, back with more Godzilla, God of Destruction mode, Spacegodzilla run. We're gonna stick to the easy areas. I haven't leveled up Spacegodzilla, and I'm relearning how to play the game. So, we are going to stick on the easy route. Just wanted to go over some stuff and keep this interesting because, like I said, Spacegodzilla is my favorite Godzilla villain, and the movie itself takes a lot of bad reviews, and just not a lot of people like the Spacegodzilla movie. Personally, it is one of my favorites. I do enjoy the Heisei series very much. I think it has the best Godzilla design. I think it has the best Godzilla roar. And I think the villains in the Heisei series are some of the best. It kind of steps away from the very child-friendly that the Showa era was towards the end, and goes back to Godzilla's darker roots with the return of Godzilla in 1984, which the American version is Godzilla 1985, and then takes it even a step farther, reassuring us that Godzilla is definitely the villain in Godzilla vs. Biollante. Now, I'm going to say this real quick. Godzilla vs. Biollante, if you read reviews, or if you're a fan and you watch like videos and stuff, like everybody's top 10 list has Godzilla vs. Biollante on it. I personally do not like the movie. I do not like the design for Biollante, and I know that it's going to go against a lot of other people's opinions, and I think it's the weakest of the Heisei series, starting with 84 and the Return of Godzilla. And I guess a lot of people would actually say this is probably the weakest of the Heisei series for them, but I love the design of Spacegodzilla. And then from Godzilla vs. Biollante was Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and that has just the worst time travel like ever. And I think and there's like a lot wrong with the time traveling they do in that. However, it does have the best version of King Ghidorah, I think, aside from Godzilla King of the Monsters, which just came out earlier this year. I think the new legendary King Ghidorah is the best looking King Ghidorah, and definitely the best sounding one. Even Kevin. And then the introduction of Mecha King Ghidorah, which I think is just an excellent kaiju. Just very well designed. And before I go farther into this, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster is another movie that everybody seems to love and enjoy. Again, it's another movie I really don't like. And I think Ghidorah is a very weak Godzilla villain. You know, a lot of people aren't going to like that, but that's just my opinion. But following Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, we then got a little goofy, I think, with Godzilla Mothra Battle for the Earth. Just a lot of the setup for that movie. Batra is, I think, a bad design. Again, I'm probably gonna make a couple people angry with that statement. but I'm not a fan of the movie. I think the Bachelor larva form is too big, and when it transforms into the adult version, I think it gets smaller. But I just am not a fan of that movie. Followed then by Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, which, again, my favorite rendition, or not rendition, but my favorite costume for Mechagodzilla. I think it's much better than the 75, even though that's got the classic look to it. And I like the smoother finish to it, and the fact that it looks more like Godzilla than a chunky square Godzilla that Mechagodzilla looked in the Showa era. But I also like the design better than Kiru. I think Kiru, they tried too hard to make it like an exoskeleton android Godzilla, and with the Heisei they really focused on making it a Godzilla robot. It looked very smooth, I thought. Not a fan of the Rodan in this. I think Rodan looked very weird and very weak. I think they did a much better job in Final Wars when they brought him back. But I think it's a very excellent movie, and of course that is the introduction of Junior and the Red Spiral Ray. And then after that one came Godzilla vs. Spacegodzilla, which reintroduced a character from the Mysterians called the Mogira. Stupid character, horrible design, and just a very weak Jaeger. It was supposed to be an upgrade from Mechagodzilla, yet it was weaker, and like Spacegodzilla destroyed it within, I think, like 30 seconds when they first introduced the two of them. And it was supposed to be an upgrade from the Super Mechagodzilla from the last movie. But Junior gets bigger, and in this movie, just a better design than Manila, but still, the baby Godzillas are always goofy looking. But a very, very neat movie, I think. One of my favorites. And then the final one for the Heisei series, which is a monster I'll be doing on here because I absolutely love his design and his powers, is Destroyer. That's not Destroyer, it is Destroyer. Again, Junior makes an appearance in that one. He's now almost a full-size Godzilla. And that introduces the Burning Godzilla, which we would see again in this year in King of the Monsters. But Destroy is massive in that movie. He is much larger than Godzilla, and of course, very, very, very sad death to Godzilla in that movie. But that's the list of the Heisei movies, which is my personal favorite series for the Toho Godzillas. I think the Millennium series is the weakest. I think the Showa era, I mean, it's the classic stuff, it's hard to beat. But I think as a kid I would have loved the Showa series more, which I did. But the older I get, the more and more I like the darker, edgier Heisei series, where Godzilla's more of an anti-hero than that laughing, joking monster who's shaking hands with Jaguar. We're doing flying drop kicks, which, don't get me wrong, Godzilla vs. Megalon is one of my favorite movies, and the flying drop kick is is by far one of the best things about Godzilla. He does it twice. So just wanted to give a little bit of gameplay here so you can see how the game plays. I know I didn't talk about it all, I got sidetracked. Actually talking about the Heisei series. I hope you guys actually enjoy that. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button if you enjoy it. Subscribe for more content. I think there's only 10 levels, so I think there's 7 more Spacegodzilla left to go. And then I'll surprise you guys with a different monster, and I'll keep doing different ones, see if I can get different fights. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.